Hey guys, this is Frozen 2 Stranger Things Fanboy Dustin 4 here, and welcome back to another video. And today, I'm gonna be doing a TV show review on my favorite show of all time, the second season of my favorite show of all time, Stranger Things Season 2. Yeah, so Stranger Things Season 2 tells the story of Will Byers, who is being traumatized by seeing visions of the Mind Flayer, the Demogorgons, pretty much after what happened to him in season 1 when he got kidnapped by the Demogorgon, and his mind is like full of creatures and stuff. This is basically about Will's trauma. And meanwhile, the friends go investigate the Demogorgons when Dustin like gets a new pet who actually turns out to be a Demogorgon, and we get pretty much the best character of the show introduced right in the season, Max Mayfield. Everyone knows that she's my favorite character. I love her, and she was introduced in the seasons. So yeah, I, and then Billy basically Billy makes Billy tries to protect Max despite his hatred against her. But Max must make a choice if she wants to follow Billy or be with her friends. And then we get L11 who actually returns from the upside down world to the real world, and Hopper becomes her father figure and hides her in the house. So yeah, that's pretty much the plot. So yeah, if you guys remember my thoughts on Stranger Things season 1, I love it, but personally it's my least favorite season. I love Stranger Things, but I wouldn't have I definitely wouldn't have called it my favorite show of all time back then. Because I actually didn't even call this my favorite show of all time until season 4 came out. But yeah, season 1 is great, but I think it's a little overpraised because I just don't think it's the best season like what most people say. Although a lot of people say season 4 is their best, is their favorite, which is good, but season 1 is the highest season, and I don't think it deserves it. But again, I love it. I give it a 10 out of 10. I stand by that. It's an amazing, well made, well written episode. Well written season. Season 2, on the other hand, I love season 2. I think season 2 is a slight improvement from season 1. Season 1, and I think this is a near perfect season. Well, I think this is kind of a flawed season, but yeah. But however, I do have some nitpicks here and there with season 2. Oh yeah, but before I forget to I gotta say, happy 5th anniversary to Stranger Things season 2. Yeah, this is the season that on this day in 2017, Stranger Things season 2 premiered on Netflix, and I didn't really watch it at the time it came out. I started it in 2019 before season 3. Stranger Things season 3 is actually what got me into this show, but season 4 is what got me even more into this show. But season 2 is still a phenomenal season. It is a masterpiece, and I adore this season. But back then I was saying, I do have a couple of nitpicks in this season that kind of keeps it away from being perfect, or even on the same level as seasons 3 and 4. So let's see what they are. What's my Oh yeah, I think we can all agree that there's one episode that's an absolute huge miss, and it's very underwhelming. The Lost Sister, episode 7. Where do I start with it? First of all, the Lost Sister is probably the sisters in the episode are probably like the weakest characters for me. Like pretty much my least favorite Stranger Things characters, because they pretty much you pretty much see them like do something in Stranger Things season 1. Like they're actually bad people, and they rub bangs, and they just get away. And I don't know why they're even there. I mean, 11 like meets them, and then I will give that episode credit that where credit's due. That episode actually gives 11 some real character development. Yeah, for some reason, a lot of people say that 11 is the main character of this season, but let's be real, she didn't really do much, honestly. But I think she's mostly just quarantined by Hopper. Hopper hides her so that so that Max so that the 11 he wants so he can keep 11 safe. And then the only thing 11 actually does is it stop this close to the Mind Flayer, but that's pretty much it. But and she does get, and episode 7 is actually one of the those episodes in the season where she actually does something. Yeah, but I actually don't mind 11 not doing much. I mean, 11 isn't really my. I don't think 11 deserves to be my second favorite character. Nowadays, I actually prefer Nancy and maybe Robin over. So, 11 is even 3 and 4. Let's see how season 3 goes. Let's see if Max. Let's see if Robin will be a deserving let's see if Robin will be deserve to be like above 11. But I know Nancy and Max are my two favorites. But yeah, the Lost Sister episode just feels like filler. It feels so random and it feels so off-putting. Like I couldn't care less about that episode. Because you're really like already like getting into the exciting part with episode 6. You're like, I mean the story I mean you're getting into like the big part of the story where like they stop the Demogorgons and the Mind Flayers, and then you suddenly just have an episode with 11 just doing 11 just well trying to develop 11, but at the same time just it just feels so out of place. Why didn't they do that episode earlier? So maybe it could have been like more meaningful. Like it could have been a better it could have been one of the how do I say this it could have been one of the earlier episodes of the season, or maybe it could have been it could have been a season 1 episode. Yeah, it felt like a season 1 episode, but yeah, I don't know. That episode was just boring, and I just couldn't really pay attention to that episode. It was just boring, and yeah. So and I also I know let's talk about Mike for a second. Mike is yeah, Mike was really really mean in this season. I like Mike, but that rhymes lol. I just rhymed. But back then I was saying I like him, but I think he's honestly one of the weaker characters of the show. I wouldn't even put them as an honorable mention. I don't think he deserves to be an honorable mention in my top 10 Stranger Things characters videos. The problem with Mike is that I just don't like his attitude towards Max. Like I don't like yeah, and everyone knows that Max is my favorite character, so I don't want anyone to act like that to Max. I mean, I understand why Billy does it. I understand why Billy hates Max, because they both hate each other. Max and Billy hate each other, and they're just regular fighting siblings. I mean, I fight with my brother like a lot. I argue with my brother, you know. So I guess it's natural, but Mike being acting like that to Max is just unacceptable. Like seriously, Lucas and Dustin like wanted Max to join their team, their friendship party, and then Max was like Max was like being sarcastic, like yeah, I know, I want to join, sounds cool, and then Max suddenly decides to actually join them, and then Mike just pushes her away because and literally calls her useless. Like every time like they try to like go inside they try to go like Mike, Lucas and Dustin like try to go inside their base. Mike literally pushes a Max out. I mean, Max was already part of the party. Like if I was Mike, I would have literally like welcomed the Max into like the party. Man, that's just sad. I felt bad for Max throughout this season because like of how everyone just treat everyone just being mean to her. Well, until the last few episodes, and when like they actually decide to work. Max decides to actually work together, or rather, the boys decide to work together. Max. I also didn't like the scene. I also hated the scene where when 11 actually pushed Max off the skateboard with her powers. Man, I feel bad. Like, why would 11 try to hurt Max? I mean, Mike isn't even dating her. Like, just because Mike is with a girl doesn't mean like he's dating. Yeah. 11 is kind of an ass. 11 can be annoying at times. Like that scene where 11 and Hopper fight is. But that's pretty much all my nitpicks. Again, it sounds like I'm giving out flaws. It sounds like I would have put this as the weakest season. But I do think this is better than season 1. So yeah. And there's a lot of great stuff to praise about this. And I mean, I like the praises. Besides the Lost Sister episode, all the other flaws I said are easy to ignore because of how good the season is. Let's talk about them. I want to get this out of the way first. This season, the biggest highlight of this season for me is introducing Max. Max is the greatest character Stranger Things, not because of season 4, but because like I just really adore Max. I just love her personality, her charm, her wit, and Sadie Sink's portrayal as her, and just how adorable she is. Um, But I feel bad for her because everyone is being mean to her. Like, why are you also mean to her? I mean, not just the characters, which I just talked about, but the audience as well. People say Max is the worst Stranger Things character. Yeah, and at the time, and I will never understand that. Yeah, that just upsets me. I mean, if you hate Max, I totally accept your opinion, but like, I just don't get it. I just don't see what there's nothing wrong with Max. If you think that Max is being annoying and mean, well, that's Max is never annoying, and her being mean is pretty much because some of how the boys just won't let her in the club. Yeah, and I also feel bad for her because she's literally being abused by her own brother Billy, which by the way, Billy is probably my favorite Stranger Things villain. Like, yeah, sorry Vecna, but Billy is my probably favorite. Or maybe it's yeah. I think Billy is more. You know what? Not really. I view Vecna as more. I view Billy as more of an anti-hero, like a villain and a hero at the same time. I'm sure you know what I mean by that. I view Billy as more of an anti-hero, so Vecna's my true favorite villain. I only consider Vecna, the Mind Flayer, and the Demogorgons, and the Rushes from season 3 as the villains of the show. Oh yeah, and the scientist guy, which what's her name again? Papa. I'll just call her Papa. I'll just call him Papa. Um, yeah. So Billy is more of an anti-hero, but I still feel bad for Max. That she had to go through so many things. So many bad things. Another character that I think people are being way too mean to is Nancy Wheeler. I still adore Nancy. I mean, you all know that Nancy was my favorite character in season one, but I think season one is was when Nancy was at her strongest. Maybe either season one or four. I'll probably think about it. Season three was probably when Nancy was at her weakest because I think Robin overpowered the Nancy that season. But I'll talk more about it when I review season three. And yes, I will review season three soon. But where was I? Um, yeah, I mean, here's why I felt bad for Nancy because remember the scene in episode two where where they were at the party, Nancy got drunk, and then she said like, oh, she said that she doesn't love Steve, and and her relationship with him is BS, and said a lot of mean things about Steve. Yeah, people said that Nancy was people reacted that they said that Nancy was is actually a bad person. No, she's not. Like, here's why. I I know Steve broke up with Nancy, and in the next episode, Steve broke up with Nancy because of that. But um, but I think he doesn't get it, and the audience doesn't get it. Nancy said those mean stuff because she was drunk. So obviously she did not know she would say that. But I think she wouldn't have said that if she wasn't drunk. It's sort of her fault for being drunk, but I wouldn't blame her for saying mean things. If I was Steve, I would have easily forgave Nancy. Come on, guys, she's not a bad person. What I find it annoying that people keep siding with the men all the time. Every time a man and a woman like get into conflict with each other, people like are like, oh, the men are right, the women are always at the fault. Like, why are people hating female characters nowadays? I don't get it. Obviously people just side with men because they think the male characters are better than the female characters. That's why they prefer to side with them. It's just really annoying. But yeah, Nancy is amazing in this episode. I still love Steve in this season. I really love Steve in this despite him breaking up with Nancy over her being drunk, which is a bad move. I mean, I like that Steve never gave up. Like, instead of being an a-hole, he literally he found a new group to work with. Like, he literally started to work with the Hunger Against Kids, and and this is where we see like the growth of the fan favorite Stranger Things duo. Um, yeah, I mean, where was I? Well, this is where we see like the fan favorite Stranger Things duo. Steve and Dustin. Yeah. I know Steve and Dustin. I get why people love them. But personally, I think Dustin, Eddie and Dustin are a better duo than Mike and then Steve and Dustin. I still love them together. But my favorite, if you're wondering what my favorite Stranger Things duo is, it's Eleven and Max all the way. I mean, I'll explain why in season three because season three shows why Eleven and Max are the best. Are the best duo. I'll talk about. But speaking of Eleven, I'll talk about her later on. But I got more things to say. Yeah, I love Steven in the episode. Oh yeah, fine. I'll talk about Eleven now. I know what people say. Eleven is the main character, maybe because she closed the mind flayer in the end. But honestly, I think this was 11's weakest season for me. Yeah, because because of how she literally, I mean, there's two things she did that really pissed me off. I already mentioned how she literally made she literally hurt Max using her powers. I hate, like, seriously, no one messes with Max. Well, unless if you're a villain, no one messes with Max. And yeah, I mean, I forgive Vecna for I forgive it. I don't mind Vecna messing with Max in season four because he's a villain. I don't mind Billy messing with Max because he's an anti-hero. But I'm anti-hero my point of view. But 11 messing with Max is unacceptable. I mean, they were the best duo in season three. Thankfully, they became. But 11 literally made literally tried to hurt Max and then the final episode, like she literally you can see in her face that she didn't like Max. She literally turned her back on Max when Max said, "Hey," literally tried to greet her nicely. Maybe it's because of the Max situation, I guess. But I wonder how they actually became close in season three. I'm wondering. I'm curious, but maybe they'll explain in season three. But who knows? Yeah. Well. So, and also like the second thing that pissed me off about 11 was when she literally when she literally like tried to attack um what when she tried to attack Hopper because Hopper scored 11 again, it's just a nitpick. I'm not gonna there's I think this is a flawless season just with a couple of tiny nitpicks that you can still ignore. I personally, besides, and like what I said, besides the Lost City episode, which bothers me by how disappointing it is, I think the other nitpicks are easy to ignore. But what I love about 11 this season is her is her relationship with Hopper. I absolutely love their chemistry together. And I love how Hopper is pretty much a father figure to 11. I think this is pretty much one of Hopper's better seasons, but I think his best season was in either three or four. Personally, what else? I think there's something I was gonna talk about. Oh yeah, let's talk about the ambition. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, this is such an ambitious season. I mean, season one was pretty lighthearted with some minor dark horror elements. This one literally goes full on horror. I mean, it was dark, it was terrifying, it was so ambitious. It's just so massive in scale, and I just love it. And yeah, I mean, we get to see the actual mind flayer. We see more demogorgons. We see more action scenes. We saw more thrills. It's a lot scarier, and I just love it that way. It's just so fun. I mean, this is just such a blast to sit through. It's just such a blast, and I really applaud it for that. Let's talk about some of my favorite episodes. Yes, now let's determine what is the best episode of the season for me. And while the earlier seasons of Stranger Things are usually one of the weaker episodes of each season when it comes to the show, I think in this one, episode two is probably my personal favorite because like that is the episode that made Max shine. Like, like how Max literally we got to know more. I mean, season one did introduce Max, but episode one, I mean, but the only thing we knew about Max in that on that season. I mean, the only thing we know about Max in that episode was that she's a gamer and she's a champion of she's a Dungeons and Dragons champion, which made the boys attracted to her, especially Lucas. Lucas and Max is probably my second favorite duo behind Ed and Max. But where was I? But episode two was where we actually got to know Max as a character. Uh, yeah, sorry, my bad. Sorry guys, I ran out of breath. But back to what I was saying. Season episode two was where we actually got to know Max and gave her like some silent moments, which is why it's my favorite episode. And have a blast with it. And the most episode one. Yeah, I mean no no. Sorry. Sorry, I'm frustrated. I'm out of words. I'm out of breath, and I still have things to talk about. So forgive me for that. I don't know if I'll edit it out. So yeah, Max, we know that we learned that in episode two. Max, it has a sarcastic tone to it. And I mean, Max likes to be sarcastic. And she likes to like scare. She likes to like goof around people to she likes to joke around to impress people. And she likes to like make friends. So but yeah, which is why like Justin and Lucas try to like tell Max some lies to actually get her attention, but then Max said, "Oh, I can't wait to go to the party," and goes away. You you think that Max what was actually like Max was interested in their stuff, but then actually surprisingly, unexpectedly, she actually came to their party. And I mean the Halloween party. And speaking of which, yeah, I mean this has a great representation of Halloween. Yeah, this is pretty much a perfect season to watch on Halloween. I mean, releasing this on October is a perfect time to it's a perfect release date because it actually came out on Halloween. And yeah, and also like let's talk about who is the main character, Will Byers. How is Will Byers? Will Byers is better here than in the first season. I mean, the first season they tried to make it about Will, but then but he was barely in the season. I still think either I still think Joyce and Hopper were the main characters in season one, but season two it's actually Will. People say that Elle is the main character, but I think Will Byers is the main character. Here's why, because Will is the story is about Will. The story is about Will's trauma, how like he visions how he actually sees the mind flayer and the demogorgons in his mind and all the creatures. And this is pretty much the aftermath of season one, showing like what happens to Will Byers, like how him getting kidnapped by the demogorgon, being sent to the upside world, affected him. And he's pretty much the key to the to stopping the mind flayer and the demogorgons. Yeah. And if it wasn't for him, like they would have came on like unwarned. And this actually I love how this I love how this season like kind of gives me like season four vibes. Honestly, if it wasn't for the Lost Sister episode, maybe, and I mean maybe this could have been my second favorite season behind season four. Again, if it wasn't for the Lost Sister episode, but I still think season three is better, mainly because of that one episode in this season. And I think I'm gonna remember season three more. But yeah, let's talk about it. It's pretty much the last part at this point. And yeah, yeah, Will's the main character. And we get a lot more development from him. And I mean, what I mean by season four vibes is like how we actually see um Will get an episode of a vision of the mind flayer. The mind flayer literally stealing his mind, like how season four how Vecna targets gets in the mind of some students. And then they, I'm sure you're not gonna be my that that's pretty much what happens with Will. And hearing that season five is going to have make Will the main character, honestly, um seeing like honestly I think season five will show Will as the main character better, because Will was just a kid in season two, so he can probably be annoying at times, especially with his screaming. But seeing how matured seeing how Will has matured in season four, I think Will be a great character in season five. Great as a main character. I just hope that Max gets gets enough screen time in season five. Otherwise it won't be as good as season three. But personally, I doubt season five will be as good as season four. Personally, I hope I'm wrong though. Um, so yeah, so that's pretty much it. And also another thing that gets me season four vibes is like this one episode where pretty much everyone is separated and they do their own missions. Like this character is doing this and this character is doing that. I mean, some episodes they do that, and that's pretty much what happens in season four. So overall, Stranger Things season two is it's better than season one. I love this season. I think it's underrated because many people like say this is the worst season of Stranger Things and say it's bad. It's pretty bad. Like, but for me, I love this season. I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, despite my nitpicks, I think it's easy to ignore them. And this season, I love the ambition of this season. I love the character development, and like how dark. I love how they make this. This actually feels more like Stranger Things than the first season because of how dark it is. And I'll say fun fact, when I first when I first heard about Stranger Things before actually watching it leading up to season 3, I thought that the first thing I saw were the boys in their Ghostbusters costume. So I thought that this is gonna be like a Ghostbuster parody or something, but no, it's nothing like Ghostbusters. It's actually a supernatural coming of age story, and the Ghostbusters were just Halloween costumes for the boys. But pretty much the best thing about this season is introducing the best character, Stranger Things Max. She'll always be the best, and she's one of the greatest characters of all time. And I've always loved Max, whether it's this season 3 or season 4, especially season 4. And yeah, so yeah, with that said, I'm gonna give Stranger Things season 2 a 10 out of 10. So yeah, once again, happy 5th anniversary to Stranger Things season 2, and happy 5th anniversary to Max, being a character. So that's all for my long, deep and kind of deep analysis review on Stranger Things season 2. I'm sorry if I kind of raged. It was just I was just so exhausted, and I'm pretty much starting to get voice cracks now. So yeah, what's your opinion on Stranger Things season 2? Who agrees that Stranger Things season 2 is better than season 1? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for more videos to come. Hopefully a new trailer comes out so I can do a trailer reaction to it, or maybe a video that one of the videos I've been planning for a long time. So yeah, bye guys.